What a week. What a weekend in the National Football League as we're winding down with the 4 o'clock games, getting ready for what is Sunday night football game, Falcons and 49ers. I'm confused. Why are the Falcons on primetime a lot this year? I mean, yeah, they beat Buffalo last week, but that is not a fun team to watch. So Falcons and 49ers tonight is your Sunday night football game. Let's see how many times Chris Collinsworth gets in Patrick Mahomes reference. And I love Collinsworth, one of the better analysts, I think, in the NFL. But my God, dude. And the Chiefs roll today over the Raiders. And I must say it's great to see Pete Carroll back on the sidelines, but it's also brutal at the same time to see him go through this. And as a guy that is a big Pete Carroll fan, being a USC fan, and having the privilege to talk to him a few times when I was working on NFL radio at SiriusXM, he's a good guy. He's just a fun guy. He's a guy you want to have a beer with and talk football. This is tough. And this is not a Raiders team that also is built well. Yes, Carroll's a good coach, but you can have Lombardi for this team. And they are not going to do that great. Yeah, they looked good last week against Tennessee. We know how bad Tennessee is. So this Raider team, like I said, is not your typical Raider team. They don't seem hard fought at all. They're getting beaten up a lot. The defense is abysmal, very inconsistent on the offense. And the Chiefs just cooked them today, 31-0 at Arrowhead. As the Chiefs look like they are pretty much back after they had the New York and the refs help them last week against the Lions on Sunday Night Football, which I still can't. 1 week later, I still can't believe how that was reviewed from New York. That the touchdown was not reviewable, but they reviewed it anyway because it was against the Chiefs. I still can't get over it. A week later, I still can't get over it. But some crazy games so far. The Giants are going to hold on against the Broncos, and the Broncos made it a little bit interesting. And Bruns is playing great for the Giants defensively, and they went, I think, 5 quarters, dating back from last week, 5 quarters without giving up a point. So the Giant defense is playing really well, but they let up a little bit. They had a big lead, 26-8 against the Broncos. It's 26-23, but they look like they hold on. And again, Scatterboo again, Dart again. And call me crazy, but I said this a couple of weeks ago. I would not be shocked if the Giants were in the playoff picture. I don't think the NFC East is that great. The Eagles have not looked good. Again, Minnesota is not a team this year that scares me. And the Phillies beat them by 6. The Eagles. I've had too much of the moonshine here. But the Eagles don't look impressive to me. And the Cowboys, Dak is playing out of his mind. This may be one of Dak Prescott's better offensive years. It's just a shame that they have no head coach and they have a defense that's so poor. And they are beating up on Washington, which is another team that this is not the same team we saw last year, which leads you on to believe that last year was an absolute fluke for the Washington Commanders last year, because they have looked downright brutal this year, losing by 20, 41-21 to the Cowboys right now. And then you have the Giants. And I know people have talked about the schedule, but that was before the year started, and we were anointing these other teams that they were playing. And they were going in with an archaic Russell Wilson as quarterback. There is energy on this team. There is juice. And it just goes to show you, man, if Neighbors didn't go down, my God. I mean, Dart is playing out of his mind, and so is Scatterboo. And we could, on another podcast, talk about the way they are and how, hey, that's okay for these guys to do it. But when Shedeur Sanders does it, or a black quarterback or black player, it's called thuggish. But when the white boys do it, it's swag. That's a whole other thing for a whole other podcast, and we'll get into that, because I've noticed this the last couple of weeks. Like, that's interesting. We were calling Shedeur Sanders a punk, but Jackson Dart can sit there and go like this, and that's called swag. Be it as it may, that's a whole other issue. The issue is that they're good. The kid can play. And Scadaboo as well. I don't listen, does the guy eat crayons for breakfast? Absolutely. Does he spell red RLW? Absolutely. But the guy's a hell of a running back. And you may only get 3-4 years out of this guy. And I'm telling you right now, the Giants will be successful with him. The Giants may win a Super Bowl with Scadaboo and Dart. If they surround the right pieces around this kid, they already have a tank in Scadaboo. Dallas ain't that great. Philly, who knows how long they're going to last. Washington looks like a dumpster fire. The East is theirs for the taking. And again, their schedule. I mean, the Packers are struggling right now. They're in a dogfight with Arizona. They've come back. They were down a little bit. They're losing 23-20 to Arizona. They do have the ball at the 50 with about 3 minutes left. So let's see if Jordan Love can put on a little magic here and the Packers can get a win. But the Packers haven't looked impressive this year. And I'm telling you right now, they play the Packers. They're playing them in MetLife Stadium. You can't tell me that Dart can't beat Love and the Giants can't beat the Packers at MetLife. Minnesota, they don't scare me. The Raiders, this is a schedule that, again, I said this when Dart took over. And really the only game I've been wrong about has been the Saints game, which I think was a trap game. It was before the Eagles game, and I think they thought, okay, they beat Herbert and the Chargers bad the week before. The new kids on the block, I think they thought, okay, we could drop our bags against the Saints. They lost that game. That's on Daboll. And Dart, give him credit, took accountability for that loss. He took full accountability. He looked like a veteran in the press conference, which impressed me a whole hell of a lot. But so, like I said, I could see him beating Philly at home. They beat him. Denver's not that good. Beat him today. So it's not far off to say that. And I said this team would be a 7-win, 8-win team this year because I thought, okay, they're going to make a change at quarterback at some point, and then the wins are going to pile up. I didn't know if it was going to be Dart or Winston, because Winston also has a rocket for an arm. We all knew Wilson was not going to last, which is why I don't know why they drafted a quarterback, paid Wilson so much money. To me, I don't know why they did that. But they did it. But I thought, hell, Neighbors, the defense looks good. There's some pieces on this team. Daboll also, the guy will be coaching for his job. And I said the Jets will win 4 games. I don't think the Jets will win 2 games. A game. But if you're a Giant fan, you got to feel great about what you're seeing. You really have to feel great about what you're seeing. There is this energy to this team. There's this life. And say what you want. Call it swag. Call it schwag. If you're a Curb Your Enthusiasm person, you get the reference. Schwag. The Giants are hot. Dart can play. Scadaboo can play. The defense right now, yeah, they let up a little bit versus Denver today. But they're getting to the quarterback. They're hitting hard. They're coming at you. The defensive schemes that they have against these guys, they're doing something right. They believe. They feel that they could win. They're a confident team. And that goes a long way. And like I said, this schedule, now that we're 7 weeks into the football season, you're seeing, hell, this schedule is not that bad. And now we have a quarterback. And now we have an absolute tank at running back. And we still have pieces that are impressing us since Neighbors went down on offense. And the defense is playing well. We can do this thing. We can pull it off. When they beat Herbert, I said this team could be 9-8. They could finish up 9-8. And I still think that they could. Maybe even better. But I love how one New York team is in the right direction and the other team just continues to be an absolute failure, and that's the New York Jets. And I'm not going to sit here and scream. I'm not going to yell. It's not worth my time. I'm not even going to spend that much time on him. We'll give him, 60 seconds. But Aaron Glenn looks like a guy, if I'm running the team, he is a one-and-done head coach. On the basis of it was his call to go in a different direction at quarterback. Just like Daboll wanted Jackson Dart. That was Brian Daboll's guy, was Jackson Dart. Daboll deserves a 4-year extension just for that. Daboll wanted anything. He would give up anything to get Jackson Dart. He got Jackson Dart, and that was Daboll's guy. You want to know who Aaron Glenn's guy was? Instead of a Hall of Fame quarterback, his guy was Justin Fields, who threw for what, about 45 yards today before he got benched, finally. And then they put in Taylor, who's not that great either. But you had a quarterback that was good. And I know, people kill me on this. My brother being one of them, it wouldn't matter if they had Rodgers. Yes, it would have. If they have Rodgers, they definitely win the Pittsburgh game. They win the Tampa Bay game. I think they win the Dallas game. They win Denver, and they win today. That's 5 wins. So instead of 0-7, you're 5-2. Maybe you're 4-3. Maybe you're 3-4. Maybe I'm being too crazy with it. But you could be anywhere from 3-4 to 5-2 if you had Rodgers. At the most 5-2, at the least 3-4. But Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show. Coach Tough Guy didn't like that. Coach Tough Guy didn't like that. He had to be the alpha male. So he went with Justin Fields. And the reason why I say he should be one and done is if you're a football person and you sit there and you say, okay, you look Aaron Rodgers in the face. And let's face it, you can love Aaron Rodgers, you can hate Aaron Rodgers. He's having a phenomenal year this year for Pittsburgh. And if Pittsburgh's defense got their crap together, Pittsburgh would be even better. But you can't fault Rodgers. Hell, Rodgers put up the points on Thursday Night Football. It was Flacco who outdueled him. Go figure. But Aaron Rodgers, if you're going to sit there and look Aaron Rodgers in the eye and go, we don't think you can go anymore. We're going to go in a different direction at quarterback. And the different direction you take a quarterback is Justin Fields over Aaron Rodgers. If you really thought this year that Justin Fields gave you a better chance to win at quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, then you should not be on an NFL sideline. And Aaron Glenn did that. And I'm sorry, this could be a team that does indeed go 0-17. I mean, hell, I had them winning 4 games. Dude, they're 0-7. Do I see them going 4-6 in these next 10? I don't. So, again, he looks lost. And Glenn today in the press conference, you're not going to win games with 13 penalties and 3 turnovers. Yes, coach, you're exactly right. And the 13 penalties is on you because they're not disciplined. And that falls on the coaching staff. And you want to know why Darnold left the Jets and is successful and Geno Smith had the success that he did? And Aaron Rodgers? You want to know why? Because it's about the system. It's about the culture. Okay? And the Jets continue to hire defensive-minded rookie head coaches that don't know how to handle an offense and don't know how to develop a quarterback. And I said this when the Giants hired Daboll a couple years ago, and I'll still stick by it. That if the Jets hired Brian Daboll, you would have gotten something out of Zach Wilson. I always said they hired the wrong bald guy. And I think the offense under Daboll would have been phenomenal. Because you already had some pieces on defense. So I think if you hired Daboll, I think everything would have went great. But they hired Saleh, who was a rookie head coach with defensive mentality. Didn't work. So now we go for another guy. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And it's about the system. It's about the coaching. And it's about the ownership. And I'm sorry. Until Jet fans don't show up to the games, nothing will change. And I say this about the Yankees also. Nothing will change. Hal Steinbrenner, as long as the chicken nuggets and the Aaron Rodgers sandwich is flying off the shelves at Yankee Stadium, Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman will still be there. It'll be business as usual, and nothing will happen, and it'll be status quo mediocrity for the Yankees, just like the Jets. As long as you have the PSL selling and you have the stadium pretty much sold out every week and people are out there tailgating and having a good time, nothing will happen. You have to have a Sunday where you have about 200 people in the stadium. You need just a walkout. And who knows, maybe then nothing will happen because Woody's such a stubborn SOB. But until Woody Johnson sells the Jets, they're not going anywhere. Because he continues to hire head coaches that he feels he can control, almost like Jerry Jones. Hell, Dallas had a head coach worth their salt, and I'm not knocking Schottenheimer. I love Brian Schottenheimer with the Jets. We went to 2 AFC title games with him as the offensive coordinator. I think Schottenheimer's a good offensive coordinator. And I feel that, I'm not saying Brian Schottenheimer shouldn't be a head coach. It's in his blood. His father was one of the best head coaches in NFL history. But your first job as a head coach in Dallas on the big stage, I thought it was a gamble, and I just don't think, I think there were many choices out there that Jones could have went with other than Schottenheimer. It's not like this team was a dumpster fire and, okay, you're going to rebuild. There's some talent. If you had an experienced head coach, who knows where there'd be. But with the Jets, like I said, they're going in the opposite direction. The Giants are a team that's on the rise. And I'm telling you right now, playoffs are not far off for this team. And in the next 2-3 years, the Giants will be to a Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Daboll is your guy. Dart is the real deal. I think, if anything, Schoen should be shown the door. Because what Daboll's been able to do with this moron making decisions, this is the guy who won Russell Wilson. Get the GM out, hire a guy that has the same philosophy as Daboll, and you're set. But Giant fans, Big Blue, you got to love it. Jet fans, it's the same old Jets. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's worse. Enjoy Falcons, 49ers tonight. Should be a snooze fest. Maybe I'll switch over to some Blue Jays and Mariners ALCS, or maybe I'll just watch a movie because it's horror season. Maybe I'll watch a Universal Movies classic. Enjoy.